All right, welcome back to the My Parents Office podcast. I am your host, Andrew Diaz, joined today by producer and co-host Brett Castle. We are, back after, episodes have been sporadic, a little bit of longer hiatus, but we're back today. Today's gonna be a heavy movie day. We're gonna talk Asteroid City, Wes Anderson's most recent movie, Mission Impossible 7: Dead Reckoning. And then we're also going to preview a little bit of Barbenheimer, kind of our predictions, what we're thinking, if we're going to be doing the full Barbenheimer experience or not. So we're going to get into that. And then obviously just kind of run through what's been going on with both Brett and I as of late, because we haven't done an episode in a while. So Brett, what's going on? How are you?
Andrew Diaz, I am doing tremendous. The sporadic is over.
The sporadic is over. I like that.
Put that on a t-shirt. Weekly podcast or bag. YouTube content for the movie goers or the movie watchers.
It's get the MAGA, the red Trump hat, make podcast weekly again. Make MPO weekly again.
Make MPO great again, which it never wasn't great. Better. Make MPO
Make
better.
MPO great again. Great. Make MPO greater, maybe. Just drop the again.
Yes, sounds perfect.
Works.
You'll be in production as we speak.
So what's been going on with you? We've been texting a little bit more because we've been working on some different stuff. But we were texting a little bit about movies. You moved recently, so run through that a little bit. Started a new job as well.
Yep. Within the last about 40 days, I got a new car, a new job, and a new apartment.
Pretty big change. I mean, that's becoming an adult right there. That's a full-on adult shift for you.
That's a full-on spending way too much money in a short period of time shift.
That as well, yeah.
Yeah. So out with the silver Sentra. Now we got a 2021 Nissan Versa.
Nice.
Nice and blue. Love the new apartment. Like I was just telling you before we recorded, got the local theater all set up, which definitely gonna get some content out of that soon. We could even do something cool, especially, like we were talking about, we want to get our own films into the local film festival around here. But even prior to that, we could do some content with the owners of the festival or owners of the theater and just talk about the trials and tribulations of that, especially during COVID, because would not be surprised if they had some scares about closing that down.
Oh my God, especially an independent. It's not like it's a Regal or like a Cinemark where, it's a giant corporate funded theater. I mean, you're on your own pretty much. You're trying to stay alive.
Yeah, but no, thankfully Montclair is a very artsy town, very similar to Amherst. So they very much support all the arts. So there's a lot of even the stores, like the clothing stores in that city, are primarily just for local clothes makers.
It's pretty cool. Now, are you in your bedroom right now? Because if you are, this is a sad looking setup where it's just the white walls that I'm looking at. We need to get some decoration up in there.
Got the plush toy right there. It's better in person. You got the TV right here. I'm in here to sleep. The decorations are out
there. That's fair. Where are you putting all your you've got a couple movie books. Where did those go? Are those in the room or are those on a bookshelf outside of the room?
The bookshelf that was in the last apartment is in the living room right now.
Okay.
So, what would be perfect is, YouTube content. It's coming soon. It'd be perfect to get some kind of board here. Even just have it set up during the podcast.
Yeah, I like. We'll color the board green so it looks like a green screen behind you. Just take green Sharpie to it.
Okay, perfect. How about we just get five boxes from Home Depot, staple them together, and just throw some green paint at it.
I like that.
Awesome.
Have you picked up any new movie books? Because I signed up for that AAA, the All Access A24 membership. It's like $5 a month, and you get early access to trailers, but you also get
a percentage off the books or something.
Well, no. So for my birthday, they're like, "Hey, this is a list of things you can get for free," and I got the 20th Century Woman, the Mike Miller film. I got that screenplay book. It's usually like $65. I got that for free for my birthday, and I was kind of reading through that a little bit. It's got the full screenplay, notes about the movie, pictures from the movie. It was pretty neat, and they have got like Uncut Gems, Moonlight, Hereditary, all those different any A24 movie that's pretty recent. They've got those screenplay books on there, which I thought was pretty neat.
No, I love their like we have the little Marcel. Have you seen
I
that?
got the pin. I got it's on the pins on my backpack, but you got the little like action
Yeah,
figure one.
yeah, we got the little Marcel. No, I
That's
love
awesome.
the products that A24 produces. I've always wanted their books. They're not expensive, but like
Mhm.
they're kind of a lot for like a little screenplay. But I really want to collect all those, so I'm definitely gonna look into that. Why is it? Oh, because it's all access A24
And
stuff,
they
right?
also they send you a little pin that says when you first subscribe to it that says AAA24, and then they send you a thing. It looks like a debit card, and I keep it in my wallet, like right next to my debit card. And I've pulled that out a few times. Like, well, I'm the only one here that's got one of these. And people will ask, well, what is that? Does it do anything? I'm like, not really. Honestly, it does. I get trailers, a couple weeks in advance. That's what I get from this. That and they send you zines, which are like newspapers. Um, I got one where it's all Brendan Fraser stuff because it was around the time the Whale, or when the Whale won an Oscar, or Brendan Fraser won Best Actor at the Oscars. So they did one of that. So you get stuff every few months, and then like all the excess access and stuff of the trailers. They give out tickets sometimes if you're in the New York or LA area. So all that
Which
type of
we
stuff.
are.
Yeah. So it like I think a week before Past Lives came out, they did a thing where it was just on their Instagram story. First person to claim this gets 2 free tickets to go see Past Lives in New York. So I think stuff like that's pretty cool. I definitely recommend at least checking it out.
No, I'm on the website right now. I'm gonna do this before the freaking episode is over.
Yeah,
Um, for the membership card, it says more durable than a membership card, but you'll get one of those too. Both come in the mail with your first zine.
Zine. Yeah. So they actually just sent one out, but I bought one. They're like $5 on the website, but they send you some for free. I bought one. It was an Uncut Gems one where it's made up kind of like a old newspaper, and the Safdie brothers I think made it, and it's got like ads for the jeweler that you know Sandler's character worked for, stuff like that in there, which I think is pretty neat.
Signing up as we speak.
That, and I started a Criterion collection because I saw
Yep, I have
the
that.
Barnes and Noble sale was going on, so I jumped headfirst into it. I bought Do the Right Thing, Blowout, Marriage Story. Um, what other ones? Dazed and Confused. Um,
I thought you meant the Criterion subscription service.
no, I started buying the movies, the actual like DVDs.
Why?
It's got well, so when you get them, it's you open it up, and again, I love the frills and stuff. So when you open it up, like the Dazed and Confused one has a little notebook in there, and it's an actual yearbook from
Oh, that's
when
cool.
they graduated. Well, I'm trying to think of another one. Each one has like a pamphlet in it, and it all depends how much work they put into it. The Marriage Story one's cool because remember in that how Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver at the beginning they write note like a letter to each other for couples therapy.
Yeah.
It has those notes in it. So on when you open it up, the left side has Scarlett Johansson's, the right side has Adam Driver's. So you get both of those letters, which I think is a pretty cool thing. And then Fast Times at Ridgemont High, which I also bought, had another thing where it's kind of like a yearbook. But yeah, I started buying those because they're usually $50, but Barnes and Noble twice a year does a sale where they're 50% off. So I started buying those.
Yeah, here it is. I'm on I'm on their website too. Damn,
It's
we're just plugging everything.
I know it's but yeah. So I watched. I'd never seen Do the Right Thing before, and then I bought that and watched it for the first time, and I loved it. So and then I bought
The
a bunch of movies that I love too.
the Spike Lee movie?
Yeah,
That's a great movie. We watched that in film studies in high school.
We don't call it a Spike Lee movie; it's a Spike Lee joint, as he calls it.
Sure.
Sorry,
I said very true. Apologies. Scratch that. But what edit it out.
but so we'll start.
So, real quick. So I didn't realize that Past Lives was getting such a push for the theater because I remember for a while, every time I like turn my Roku on, Past Lives was just being advertised all over that. So for a while, I just thought it was like a straight to streaming film. But then they're playing Past Lives at that independent theater near me. But then was it good? Like I'm surprised that one's getting
Oh,
such like a theatrical push.
so I've been doing my movie ranking for the year so far. I've seen I think 63 so far, and I've got that at third. I thought
Really?
it was. I was so when I saw it in Amherst, it was in their smaller theater, and the place was packed to the point where people were sitting on the steps up like in the theater,
That's awesome
and
to see.
I was towards the end. I was sobbing. It is so sad, but it's. I think it might be the best romantic movie of the
Like this
2020 so
generation.
far. Uh,
Okay.
at least of the decade so far. I really enjoyed it. I think it was pretty awesome. And I didn't know what my expectations were going to be. The only reason I saw it was because the only place that was playing Asteroid City the night it released was the Amherst Theater near me. So I saw Past Lives playing. I was like, I don't know when I'm going to be able to get back up here to see it. So I did the double feature, and I enjoyed that. I shouldn't say much more than Asteroid City, but I really, really loved Past Lives. I thought it was awesome. If you get a chance to once it hits streaming, I'd watch it, or if you can see it at the independent theater near you,
Yeah,
I'd.
no. I'm probably gonna see it before it's out of the theater. Which I totally missed it because I was down in South Jersey, but when they were playing Insidious last weekend there, the director was there doing a
Oh,
Q and
really?
A. That would have been sick.
I can't do Insidious. I'm
I'm
not a
right there.
horror guy.
Neither am I, but I do actually like that actor a lot.
Yeah, it, I'm trying to. Yeah, I can't do Insidious, but I saw the other day the actually yesterday the Sound of Freedom that like super it's being hailed as the super right wing movie.
Oh yeah, with Mel Gibson, right?
Well, so Gibson's been the only one. He's not attached to it. He's just been promoting it because Jim Caviezel is the lead guy who was Jesus in the Passion of the Christ.
Okay.
So he's been promoting it a bunch, but I thought it was fine. It's a movie.
Everyone's pushing that. Like Instagram's pushing it, Facebook's
Yeah.
pushing it. Like anywhere I go on the internet, it's like basically put your email in to watch this movie for free. Like what?
Well, they did a thing at the end of it. So at the end, it they're rolling the credits, and on the bottom of the thing it says special message in 2 minutes, and it does like a little countdown. And then Jim Caviezel comes on the screen and he goes, this shines the light on child sex trafficking, which the movie told a good story. I just wasn't a huge fan of the movie in general. But he goes, scan this QR code and pretty much pay it forward, where you can donate $10 and pay for somebody to go to the movie. And another thing I've been hearing is that churches have been mass buying the tickets for the movies so people go see it, which I also think is a little strange. But I
It's
do have
very
to say
strange.
the theater was packed. It was the last time I'd been at the Enfield Cinemark where the theater has been legitimately shoulder to shoulder packed.
Like because everyone went for free.
That's true. If I had known I could get a free ticket, I wouldn't have paid. I mean, it was $8, but I still paid for it. If I had known about this, I'd have 100% gotten the free ticket.
What I'm saying, like even Dana White posted a video about this movie a couple days ago and was like, I am gonna pay for all of the fighters to see this movie. Like this movie is not gonna make um any revenue. It's all just gonna be freaking advertising.
Well, it's over 85 million right now at the box office.
That's insane.
That it's gonna make more than, obviously not more than like Indiana Jones or Mission Impossible or
I make more than
Oppenheimer
Asteroid City.
or Barbie, but it's gonna do better. It's probably gonna be the fifth or sixth biggest box office movie of the summer.
So strange. When I first heard about it, it kept like reminding me of What's the movie with the deaf drummer, Sound of Metal?
Sound of Metal, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it kept reminding me of.
There is an awful part in it where, in movies where they title drop the movie, and one guy looks over at Jim Caviezel, he goes, "You hear that? That's the sound of freedom." I in my chair, I was like, "Oh God, that hurts. That's so bad. Why? Why?"
It's for the cheap pop. Like it doesn't actually like doesn't improve the film in one way whatsoever. No one's like, oh, that's clever. They just want the people in the audience to be like, oh, that's smart. No, not smart. That was a cheap pop.
I got into a bit of a minor argument in the theater with somebody while
That's
watching
funny.
this because the theater was packed, so there was a seat in between me and another guy, and he was with his family. But the whole time he's saying very loudly, "Wow, oh my God!" And I finally, about 20 minutes left, I leaned over and I said to him, I go, we don't need the commentary. And he called me an asshole, but I felt bad because he was with his family, but I was getting so sick and tired of it. It was not a good movie theater audience. Phones kept ringing. People were, reacting pretty loudly in the theater. So that was a bottom 5 theater going experience that I've had.
So that is one of so I like you just said, I do love the environment. I do love the atmosphere of like a sold out theater.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes there are positives about an almost empty theater. When I saw Bo was Afraid, it was me and 3 other people.
Yeah.
Today, seeing Mission Impossible, I really don't care about hearing people clapping. I don't have to care about people like going, whoa, like and just their reactions. It was just myself, Zoe, and probably like 5 other people. And that's all I needed.
Yeah. I will say I always preach I want movie theaters to do well. I don't want them to do well when I'm there personally. I do think a movie will be cool like Oppenheimer to see it with a crowded theater because that could be because it's going to be people that like Christopher Nolan, people that are very excited. I think that's more of an audience where you're going to get people that are there because they want to see the movie. It's not going to be people getting dragged along like a Mission Impossible because it's an action movie. A lot of people will be like, "Oh, let's go see an action movie." With Nolan, I mean, you are getting a 3 hour intense biopic, and it's coming from the biggest director of the 21st century.
I would agree with you if Barbenheimer wasn't a thing. Because there are a lot of people who are not going to this movie because of like, because see, I was originally attached to this film because I love Cillian Murphy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because like people aren't going to be seeing this because they love Christopher Nolan. They're not going to be seeing this because they're a cinephile. They're not going to be seeing this for Murphy, RDJ, Florence Pugh, Emily Blunt, whatever, Matt Damon. They're going to be seeing it because it's going to be under the same day as Barbie and to just hop on the bandwagon and get a shirt.
But Barbie is going to be an insufferable crowd wherever you go to see it.
That's actually the one I'm excited to see it with the crowd because I want to actually see if certain jokes stick.
That's true too. So let's do the Barbenheimer first, our prediction for it. And do you think Barbie is going to be a good movie? Because Greta Gerwig is a good director. I mean, she has 3 feature films. I love Lady Bird, and I thought Little Women.
I love Lady Bird.
Little Women wasn't for me, but it's a good movie.
I love that movie.
Yeah, I wasn't huge, but I can acknowledge it being I can acknowledge it being a good movie. But Lady Bird is one of my favorite movies of the last decade.
Here's Greta Gerwig's impact on myself. Like, if any other director was directing the new Narnia films coming out, I don't think I would care. But the fact that she's directing them, I'm actually excited for the 2.
The only other director for a Narnia would be Guillermo del Toro. I think would be the only one that fits.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying she's the only one.
No,
but
I'm saying that he would be the only other one I'd actually be excited for. I agree with you. Greta Gerwig is an exciting director for a film with series like that.
Michael Bay?
Yeah, as long as he makes it like Transformer, like the very recent Transformer with Mark Wahlberg, though I think it's Dark Moon, that one, which was really bad. but had a lot of explosions. That would be the only type of Michael Bay Narnia film I'd want to see.
Sure. What were we just saying? Uh, what was the question?
Do you think Barbie will be good?
Uh, I think the answer yes, but I don't think it will be a. It's not a Barbie movie. It's a movie with Barbie. Like it's not a movie with like the character being Barbie in Barbie's world. It's gonna be more similar to like Enchanted, I think, where it's like the character of the princess, but then stuck in like the outside world.
I think I'm gonna kind of hate it because I feel like from the trailers I've seen, I feel like it's gonna be too wink, wink, tongue in cheek. Oh, Barbie's not real. Oh, this is we're in a world, where Barbie isn't a real person. I think it's gonna be too much of that. Or at least that's what the trailer looks like. I also don't think Will Ferrell is gonna be funny in the movie, which he's had a weird decline where, the 2000s he was hilarious and even the early 2010s, and then he started to do movies like Daddy's Home, which just weren't funny.
I'm okay with Daddy's Home. What's the crap he was in on Netflix?
Um, there was the Everything Must Go, which I didn't think was great. I'm trying to think of it because that was the only Netflix one I can think of. But he did like Daddy's Home 1 was fine, but Daddy's Home
Let's talk about Eurovision.
that was not great. That
Yeah. Oh,
and I'm
wasn't Will Ferrell was he Spirited? I enjoyed that.
Spirited was fine. It's forgettable, I think.
Well, yeah, but it's also like an Apple movie on Christmas.
Yeah, that's true. But I still just don't know what Barbie's going to be about. That's like my biggest concern at the moment is and it might also be a good thing. I'm kind of walking in blind to it. And I think a lot of the people that are going to see it are walking in blind.
What do you think about the potential of about 80 more Mattel films coming out? Because we've got the new Barney movie coming out with Daniel Kaluuya.
Which did you read the description for that?
I listened to a podcast that read it for me. But it was basically like it's not about Barney, it's about somebody who grew up watching Barney, something like that.
It's apparently like the teenage angst of, like you said, growing up watching Barney, which I I'm in. I like Daniel Kaluuya, so I'm in. I don't know. It's the same with Barbie. Like I don't know really what this is going to be about, but the cast has me intrigued. I'm a Margot Robbie fan. I'm a Ryan Gosling fan. I think this could be interesting.
This is also a weird time right now where a lot of films are coming out about pre-existing like intelligence, like pre-existing like products that are already out, like Tetris. I don't know if you saw that.
I like Tetris. I thought it was very good.
Teron Egerton could like be nominated for two things this year. I love him so much.
Yeah. What else could he be nominated for?
Blackbird.
Oh, did he get nominated for it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. I would be shocked if he had
No, I
not
would too. But I'm
Tetris.
saying I think his performance is so justified that I believe,
The,
like, throw some more advertising and
Mhm.
throw advertising in a theatrical release of that film, and I think it could do better.
The I Need a Hero needle drops in that were insane. Those got me absolutely fired up during that.
The songs.
Yeah. I loved when they played it, I think 3 or 4 times during it. I did not have high expectations for it, and I walked away. That's one of my favorite biopics of the year.
Is it considered a biopic?
Yeah, because it's a biopic about Tetris. So, I mean,
Sure.
it was a true story.
Yeah. Well, I guess yeah. Just yeah, it's based on a true story, loosely.
Yeah. Next up, maybe episode down the line, we'll do actually after Oppenheimer, maybe do biopic draft of the year, or at
Sure.
least rank our top 3 or 4 because it's been a very good year for biopics, so far I think. But so again with Barbie, how do you think the cast gets utilized? Because
I
It's
think
supposed to be a lot of it's different Kens from different Ken universes, different Barbies. Like Kristen Wiig is one of them. Dua Lipa, obviously Margot Robbie. Then there's I can't remember any of the other Kens, but I know Ryan Gosling obviously. How do you think that kind of plays out in the movie?
have you Googled Ryan Gosling at all recently?
No, should I?
Yeah, absolutely. See if it does the same thing to you they just did for me.
The Barbie.
Yes.
Hang on, I'm gonna Google Margot Robbie and see if it does the same. Oh, it did. It did. It
That's
did.
funny. That's incredible.
Let's see Greta Gerwig.
All right. Well, back to your
Oh,
question.
Greta Gerwig got it too. Hang on, we're going deeper. Will
Michael
Ferrell.
Sarah.
All right, no for Will Ferrell. Let's try Michael Sarah. Nope. So it might just be Gerwig, Gosling. I wonder if I Googled Christopher Nolan, if my computer would just explode. I'm nervous to do it right now.
I'm gonna look up Barbie.
Christopher Nolan.
Nope. Oh, it does. That's incredible. Does it surprise you that Ryan Gosling is playing Ken at 42 years old?
He's obviously, I believe, the best actor for that role,
I
but it
agree.
is weird with his age that he's playing. This would have made sense, I think, 10 years ago.
I feel like they could have played with that a little bit as like a washed up Ken, which I actually thought that was the original premise, like when the
I
film
did
was first
too.
announced. Yeah.
I thought it was going to be kind of initially like a woman empowerment film where it shows that Barbie's the bread maker and Ken's kind of this deadbeat. That's actually what I thought it was going to be because they talked about Ken. I think Gosling said it that Ken kind of is, a bit aloof.
That's
He's
why I thought that. Yeah.
so I think that could actually made for a pretty good movie. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought that would have been a very interesting premise.
I'm right there with you, but I trust Greta Gerwig with the material she was given. Who wrote it? It wasn't Greta that wrote it, right?
I can check.
I was just look up Greta Gerwig writing. Barbie movie writer. It said, oh, her and her husband.
Oh, so yeah, I mean Noah Baumbach, he wrote Marriage Story, he co-wrote Fantastic Mr. Fox and Life Aquatic, and he wrote The Squid and the Whale. So I
Yeah,
mean, he's a good writer.
that's
Gerwig
my
wrote
favorite
Lady Bird.
Hollywood couples.
Yeah, Gerwig wrote Lady Bird, and she's writing both of the Chronicles of Narnia films on her own. So there's no shortage of. I mean, they're both good writers, so that actually makes me feel a little more comfortable.
Of the two films coming out this week, Oppenheimer is going to be the good movie. Barbie's going to be the fun movie. And I feel like that's not a poor way just to, I know it's blunt, I know it's broad, but I feel like that's what it's going to be. I'm not going to walk away of Barbie, I don't think, being like, this movie's going to push for an Oscar win.
Well, I think it's going to be the same thing that happened, I believe, in '08. We had a similar Barbenheimer situation where Nolan released The Dark Knight on the same day Mamma Mia was released.
And I feel the same about how I described that. Mamma Mia is a very fun movie. I think The Dark Knight's a really good movie.
I think it's going to be the same scenario where we look back and Oppenheimer is going to be looked at like The Dark Knight, where it's going to be very memorable. But I think Barbie will be like Mamma Mia, where it has a very cult fan base that
Yeah, that's
stands
fair.
by it and absolutely loves it. I think that's going to be what we're given.
But I think that cult fan base is still going to be pretty broad. I think the majority will love this film,
Well,
but I
that's the
think that
same with
there's going
Mamma
to
Mia. A lot of people like it's I shouldn't say a cult fan base, but it's going to be treated like a cult fan base. It's very large.
it's going to be critically enjoyed. It's going to be critically acclaimed, but it's just going to be it is what it is, and it's especially when in terms of that week, I think more people are going to see Barbie this movie than Oppenheimer, and I don't think it's going to be close.
Oh, Barbie's going to blow Oppenheimer out of the water, I think, box office wise. But that's not outrageous to say because Barbie isn't an R-rated 3-hour biopic thriller about the guy that built the nuclear bomb. It's an hour and a half about dolls that, every girl has played with once in their life. So I think it's going to hit a bigger demographic from, young girls that play with Barbies to, women that grew up playing with Barbies. It's going to be, and obviously it's going to be like the Minions meme from, last year, where people are going to the theater in suits and whatnot, where people are going to go for the meme of it.
But also the meme of Barbenheimer also, and the same argument, people are going to be seeing this film because because of the date of the release.
Right. I just think more people are gonna. You probably agree. More people will go out of their way to see Barbie than more will go out of their way to see Oppenheimer.
Okay, take away the people who are seeing both this weekend. The people who are going to see one, it's most likely going to be Barbie, because I think
Yes.
Barbie basically captivates all the audiences. Like I think the men, the women, the children, the adults. I think there's something in there for everyone in terms of like Ryan Gosling isn't like the poster boy for rom-coms. He's in like action films. He's in fun films. He's in, Gray Man. But and then Margot Robbie, everyone loves Margot Robbie. But
And
then
it's also an hour and a half shorter too, which is the ultimate draw. Where the attention span thing is huge. Granted, this year we've gotten a lot of long films. John Wick was 3 hours. Mission Impossible 2 hours and 45 minutes. Indiana Jones 2 hours and 30 minutes.
did not feel that long. It didn't.
It was Mission Impossible was a quick 3 hour film.
So good. So good.
So I do think that's another thing too, like the attention span aspect. Attention spans from people our age are a lot shorter. So
Killers of the Flower Moon, that will be long as hell
the
also.
trailer for that looks unreal for Killers of the Flower Moon.
Okay, so in terms of trailers, I agree. Another trailer that I saw today, I was more excited about Dune 2 when I heard of the like release and heard it was coming out. After the trailer, I don't think I care. Like I'm still gonna see it in theaters. The trailer did nothing for me.
I wasn't huge on the first Dune. I thought it was okay.
I'm right there with you. But
so I'm gonna see the second one, but the other trailer that really got me fired up when I saw Mission Impossible was the Napoleon one with
Joaquin.
Yeah, I just think Joaquin was great in Gladiator. It's the same director of Gladiator, and it's also going to tell the full Napoleon story. And I think that scene where the soldiers are on the ice and get pretty much tricked, and they all drown, and it's the voiceover of Phoenix saying, "I'll be the first to admit when I'm wrong, when I made a mistake, and I've never made a mistake." That line has resonated with me so much since I've seen the trailer, where I'm very excited to go see that.
That's straight to Apple also, right?
Yeah, but I think both Killers of the Flower Moon and Napoleon will have theater releases.
Sure, but probably very minimal.
It'll be like Irishman in 2019, where it had 3 weeks, I think.
I think Killers of the Flower Moon will be in theaters a little bit longer, maybe like a month and a half.
Yeah, that I'm excited for that. The remainder of the year, not counting Oppenheimer or Barbie, the movies I'm most excited for are The Killer, the David Fincher movie, and Killers of the Flower Moon, and the Yorgos Lanthimos movie, Poor Things, with Emma Stone, Willem Dafoe, and Mark Ruffalo.
Yep, I'm excited for that also. Is this the year for the most like household name director releases? Like Christopher Nolan, Martin Scorsese, James Cameron.
Did Cameron release one?
Was Avatar this year?
Last year.
Oh shit.
It was late December release.
Yeah.
But Scorsese, Nolan, Denny Villeneuve, Fincher,
Jeff Nichols, kind of.
Did he release one?
I think it's coming out later this year.
What movie?
I forgot the name. Hold on.
But all tacking onto that, Greta Gerwig, Ridley Scott,
Eric LaRue.
I don't know.
Oh no, sorry, the bike riders.
And throw in Wes Anderson too. So there's
absolutely Wes Anderson.
9 or 10 of the biggest directors. I mean, the only ones that are like huge names are Tarantino.
Yeah.
Guillermo del Toro, who will draw a crowd. Chazelle.
Del Toro had a very busy 2022.
Yeah, what came Pinocchio came out and absolutely fucking curb stomp Marcel the Shell at the awards, which I once the everything so they won at the BAFTAs, won at Golden Globes. Once it hit the Oscars, I was writing my betting blog for that, and I took Marcel the Shell, but I was like, you know what? I'm riding with Marcel out of pure pride. This is a dumb pick, but it's ironic that Pinocchio was running around like Mussolini, just killing every other animated film that had come out this year. But I enjoyed it. I liked
Well,
Pinocchio, but it
he
wasn't.
also had he also had his show. Wasn't that last year also? House of Mysteries or House of something?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And didn't he have another film too? Or am I thinking of the show?
I think just the show because he only had he's coming out with a new film soon, but yeah, he only had Pinocchio and then the show last year. I shouldn't say only. I mean that's a lot for somebody that's for a director.
Also, betting lines should absolutely be a thing for award shows. If they
Oh,
could have betting lines for WWE, they should absolutely have lines for award shows.
it is for the Oscars. You can bet on it.
On what? Not like DraftKings, right? FanDuel?
I think you can on DraftKings.
Really?
Yeah,
All right, I'm about to open up the account this year.
because that's where I got my odds from when I was writing it was from through DraftKings.
I'm gonna have some fun with that.
The
Yeah.
closest lines this year were like I think was Best Actress, where there were I think it was Angela Bassett, Carrie Condon, or no, it might have been no, it was supporting because it was Carrie Condon, Jamie Lee Curtis, and somebody else. They were all within a little bit of each other.
Yeah, but they're also probably not gonna be like whoever is the favorite is probably like a minus like 5,000 favorite, and then it's probably not even close otherwise.
I want to look up because I have the blog here. I want to see. There was one line that was absolutely insane by how like the discrepancy for it.
What would
Um,
that be?
I'm trying to think of the category. And I'm
Was
pulling
it Brendan Fraser? Like I feel like he was somewhat of a lock.
it. I think it was because
I know
Best
this.
Picture wasn't really a lock. Like Best Pic, I think a lot of people figured that Everything Everywhere All at Once was going to win, but it wasn't this outrageous lock going into the Oscars.
What were the lines? Like minus 200 or something?
When were the Oscars this year?
Uh, I don't know. April,
Was it April?
March.
Oh, here it is. All right, I got it. So the favorite so Best Picture kind of was Everything Everywhere All at Once was minus 700.
That's not crazy.
Brendan Fraser was minus 160, which was pretty close.
I can make money with Brendan Fraser.
Michelle Yeoh was minus 180. Oh, the biggest one was supporting actor. Ki Hui Kwan was minus 2,000 to win it.
I know this isn't really the conversation for this right now, but you see Bo Nickel this past weekend or 2 weekends ago closed as the like biggest favorite in UFC history.
Did he really?
Yeah, and it might have actually closed as like a minus 1,800, but throughout the whole entire week, he was like minus 2,800,
Jesus. That's pretty
which,
crazy.
which is insane. And then he got the knockout in 38 seconds.
If you count this one, All Quiet on the Western Front for best international film was minus 3,500. But I mean, it was the only international film nominated for Best Picture, so
Yeah.
it was kind of a no brainer.
Yeah. I mean, could have been smart putting money in something else.
All right, so Oppenheimer. We covered Barbie, Oppenheimer expectations. I mean, this is the biggest cast, star power wise, that Nolan's ever worked with. Inception was obviously huge with Leo, Cillian Murphy, Tom Hardy, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises had huge casts. But this is the I call it the cast for Nolan, where he's got so many stars: Matt Damon, Cillian Murphy, Robert Downey Jr., Emily Blunt, Florence Pugh, Josh Peck is in it. I think Ben Safdie, um,
Did you see the Safdie brothers are not talking right now?
splitting up.
Yeah, splitting up.
Gary Oldman, Matthew Modine, Jack Quaid, Alex Wolff, Casey Affleck, Remy Malik, Josh Hartnett, David Dashmalchian. I mean, this cast is huge.
It's the Asteroid City of Christopher Nolan.
Except this desert town ends a little different, I believe.
I believe so also. Actually, there are booms in both.
I don't think an alien's gonna, an alien that is trying to steal an orb is gonna pop down
Dude,
mid
that
with
that
Oppenheimer.
alien got the biggest pop out of me.
That the night I saw it, the pop in the theater was insane when the alien came down.
The alien posing with the asteroid. Oh my god.
That was great, but we will get to that. But all right, Oppenheimer. Let's run through this quick and kind of. So cast wise, what are your expectations? Because it sounded like Nolan said everybody that's in it kind of has a moment. Like the big stars in it have a moment.
I think the cast is what the draw is. I don't think anybody is going to see this movie for the biopic of the atomic bomb. People
Mhm.
are going to see this movie because of Christopher Nolan and the ginormous cast that it presents. So, with that being said, I think what's going to shine is everyone's enjoyment over Cillian, Killian Murphy, whatever you want to say, Robert Downey Jr., Florence Pugh, basically the 15 plus names that you just said. That's why people are going to see this film. And I think that's why the film's going to do well, both critically and theatrically. Like people come to see the film and whatnot. Um, I've I actually do believe that's why this giant cast exists, just so people get their butts in the seats.
Yeah, I think that'll be pretty huge. I mean, this cast is absolutely wild that he put all this together. The one glaring omission, I should say there's two. Michael Caine not being in a Nolan movie, definitely going to be a weird look. Um, but also Robert Pattinson was the one that gave Nolan the book about Oppenheimer
Yeah.
at the Tenet screening party, and they said he's busy. Or Nolan said he was busy during filming for it, which he has 3 or 4 different projects coming out soon. But it is kind of wild that you give the guy the inspiration for a film that's about to be huge, and you're just not in it, which I do think is funny.
I'd assume that was a choice
Yeah,
of his own choice.
yeah.
Have you ever seen? Sorry, this is very random. Have you ever seen Free Fire with Killian Murphy?
No,
Please watch that movie. It's like an hour and 45-minute long shootout. It's the it's an A24 film. Army Hammer, Brie Larson. Dude, it's such a funny film.
it's described as a British black comedy action film. It made 3.8 million at the box office.
Hell yeah, dude.
Interesting.
Black comedy? Is that what you said?
I think like dark comedy they maybe call like black
Yeah,
comedy.
it's
I,
definitely a dark comedy. I never heard it referred to that way.
I'll check that one out though.
Dude, watch that. It's so funny.
Um, Expectations for Oppenheimer. What are you going into with it?
I think it is going to very short prediction. Like I'm going into this relatively blind, relatively expectation free. But I will say I think the film will feel as long as it is. I think it's going to be somewhat of a slow burn. Um, but I think I'm not going to be let down whatsoever. I'm probably going to walk out of it predicting like an 8 out of 10. That's
Mhm.
that's probably where I am right now. If it like blows me out of the water and it's like better than that, and it's potential, maybe not best picture, but I would love to see Killian Murphy nominated. Like for a guy that's basically been in television primarily in the past few years with Peaky Blinders. Like yes, he's had his films, he's had his Dark Knight, he's had his, and he does a lot with no blah blah blah. Christopher Nolan. There we go.
All 3 Dark Knight movies and Dunkirk and Inception.
Yep. But primarily, I believe the public most know him mostly as Tommy Shelby.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, I would love to see him get a nomination from this film. The trailer, he looks incredible. I'd love to see Matt Damon in something that's not stupid. And dude, I love Matt Damon, but he's got some weird ones.
I'm honestly kind of concerned about the Damon part because you've seen in the trailer where he has the line, "Why? Why?" Maybe because it's the biggest thing to ever happen in the history of the world. That line, unlike the Napoleon one, has sat with me not in the greatest way. Where I understand it was huge, definitely a huge moment in history, but
Yeah.
I kind of cringe a little bit when I see that, and I think it'll be the same when I see that in the theater.
I feel like Matt Damon is finally coming out of his weird indie movement this year
Yeah,
after like downsizing and Suburbicon and all those weird ones.
awful.
He had was Air was this year, correct?
Air was good.
Air was good. I mean, I think he's gonna be great this year. I love Matt Damon. Probably my top 15, top 20.
I asked this question with one of my friends where I said, "Is Damon good in Ford versus Ferrari, or is the movie just good?" Because I feel that with a lot of the recent Damon movies, I don't think he's great in Air, but I think the movie's good.
I don't agree, actually. I love
No,
that. No, he's actually one of my favorite actors. He can play the same role every time. I don't care. Most of my favorite actors do. Tom Cruise does. He's probably in my top five.
no.
But
Tom Cruise does not play the same person. He plays a spy and a jet pilot. Those are not the two same thing.
sorry, different occupations. Um, sorta. Um, I love Matt Damon. To me, he's a draw. Which I don't know. I feel like people in our generation, if not a few years older, Matt Damon's gonna stay a draw.
Yeah, I just think when you look at like his early roles, the two that stick out, obviously Good Will Hunting, and then I think his best role, his best performance ever is The Talented Mr. Ripley. I
Oh,
think he
great
is
movie.
fantastic in that because he plays such a great chameleon. And he's honestly great in The Departed, where he plays,
Yep.
a great weasel. And the same goes for the Brendan Fraser movie School Ties, where he plays a weaselly asshole prick in that. And I think he plays that role very well. And I just think since he's gotten older, he's been in very good movies because of the name Matt Damon.
Yeah,
He's
the Bourne movies.
the Bourne movies were pretty good. They increasingly got worse and worse, but he's good in them. I just think when the Talented Mr. Ripley is the role that sticks the most with me, where he's fantastic in it.
Go. I'm looking at his filmography right now. I forgot about a lot of these movies.
But he did hit that weird spot where he did a lot of like he did some of the Clooney directed movies. Him and
Ocean's
Affleck,
13.
him and Affleck were in like the Clooney directed stuff,
Yep.
and I don't think Clooney's a good director. I watched actually today The Ides of March, and that was
I don't dislike that movie.
uh, I did not I was not a fan.
I thought it was boring, kind of. I didn't hit. That's what. Okay. Sometimes I'm a product of just the cast. I'm a product of the casting and my enjoyment at times, and I love Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, that's true. True, but
Jeffrey
Suburbicon
Wright, he was good in that.
Jeffrey Wright was good. Suburbicon not great.
Not great.
Downsizing not great. The Monuments Men not great. Behind the Candelabra not great. We Bought a Zoo not great.
What was it
Elysium
called?
okay.
Invictus.
Hmm?
Invictus.
Invictus was all right. It was a good Morgan Freeman performance, I thought. True Grit was a good movie. He was all right in it.
Yeah, yeah.
The
I didn't love him
inform
in that.
The Informant not great. From like '06 to 97 when he first started, he had great roles. Good Will Hunting, Saving Private Ryan, Rounders, Talented Mr. Ripley, Ocean's 11, The Bourne Identity, um, Ocean's 12, Ocean's 13, The Departed, Bourne Ultimatum. So that's 97 to '07. So a good 10-year run. And then fell in with Soderbergh a little bit, where he did Che Part 2, which wasn't good. Like I said, The Informant, Contagion. So he's done some very bad movies, um, and been okay in them. But when he's in a good movie and gives a good performance, he's maybe there are not many people that can compete with him when he's at the top of his game.
I feel like Matt Damon's in that weird spot right now where a streaming show might be what's perfect for him right now.
Like I think an 8-part
Yep.
HBO
Like
series.
a or like a Chris Evans defending Jacob on Apple. Like a Bryan Cranston, Your Honor. Like,
Oh, he would have been great casting in the early 2000s for Blackbird for the Taron Egerton role.
maybe sure. Sure.
Egerton's got the baby face. He's got a little toughness to him. I
Yeah.
mean, Damon in that era had that kind of look to him where he was a preppy looking white kid that had some toughness and grit to him. I think he would have been perfect in Blackbird, if it came out in 2003.
I don't disagree. I think Affleck could have worked for that one too.
Definitely. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, got that Boston look.
All right.
Did you watch
So
Blackbird?
I watched the first episode because I saw, oh, it's free. And then
Ray Liotta.
yeah, and then it was like, oh, it's actually not free. You have to buy Apple TV.
It's like $5 a month, dude. I love Apple.
All right, I'll buy it.
Yeah, because I think between us, I think I watch a lot more shows, right?
Yes, I'm actually binging Suits right now.
So am I.
All right, so down the line in the next couple, we've got big movie stuff to cover. Obviously, down the line we should do some Suits stuff. What season?
Yeah. I'm on season 2, episode 3.
Okay, I'm ahead of you right now. I'm on season 6.
I'll be there, and I just started like 2 weeks ago. I'll be there, and like
I mean, every episode is kind of the same thing.
I love it though. I fucking
Harvey coming in, Mike walking into his office.
Meghan Markle.
You better not talk to me if it's not about the Smith case. Oh, I guess we can talk then. Mike
Dude,
throws out a document. Then like Lewis says something. Mike realizes, oh my God, this is how we win the case. And then they win the case.
me, you, and Zoe's mom are all benching that right now.
It's good. I love it. I,
So
I,
good.
I do I do really like it. So yeah, we'll do some suit stuff down the line.
I'm so excited. I'm also so that's the show that I'm watching right now, and then we're about done with Andor.
I didn't watch. I
We're
watched
starting. Yeah, we're starting Star Wars from the beginning, and we're on Andor right now.
That's a long way.
Yeah, I know. We're like a third through.
Okay, that's not bad.
No, Andor's pretty good though. And it got nominated for best miniseries. Or no, best drama. Got nominated for something for the Emmys
And
this
drama.
year. Yeah.
So wrap up Barbenheimer. What do you think? Give me, you walk out of the Are you going? So I should ask, are you going to do the Barbenheimer experience?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So my end notes are I'm excited for both. Expectation, Oppenheimer, the good one. Barbie, the good, fun one. Oppenheimer, the one I'm expecting Oscar nomination, because this is also the time of year where those are put into thought. Like, when did The Whale come out?
Whale was late.
Like November, like October?
December.
Okay.
Late November, early December.
I feel like the end of this year doesn't have too many big movies coming out. It has big fun movies like Wonka and Killers of the Flower Moon, but that's
The 4 that are the big ones for the later part of the year are Napoleon, The Killer, Killers of the Flower Moon, and Wonka.
yeah.
Which I think
I'm excited for Wonka.
I think Killers of the Flower Moon and Napoleon could get nominated for Best Picture.
I'd
I
be very
don't
surprised
think
if
the Killer
Joaquin.
will.
What?
I don't think the Killer will.
No.
That's the movie I'm most excited about for this year because Fincher's my favorite director. So it's a 3-hour spy assassin thriller starring Michael Fassbender and Tilda Swinton. So, bang my debit card on the table, take my money. I would give my left arm to see it right now. But Wonka, I don't have high expectations for. But, for Oppenheimer, I would not be shocked if that gets a Best Picture nod because there are 10 films that get nominated. It's not like past years where it's only 5. So I wouldn't be shocked if Oppenheimer gets a Best Picture nod. If Murphy gets Best Actor nod. And if
Joaquin could also.
Joaquin, I think will. I think Leo will. But I don't think anybody from Barbie gets nominated. I think it could get nominated for Best Original Song or Best Edited or Best Costume Design. But I don't think it gets nominated anything for picture, director, actor, actress.
Sometimes they do like to fit in the films that just do well theatrically. So I could see Margot Robbie getting a nod.
I don't think this year is strong actress wise.
That's what I'm saying.
I think right now the only two I can think of is I thought Florence Pugh was really, really good in A Good Person, which wasn't a great movie, but she was really good in that. And I'm drawing a blank on her name right now. The woman from Past Lives, Greta Lee. I think she'll get nominated for Best Actress.
Dude, that'd be kind of cool if she won Korean film after Korean film.
It'd be pretty badass.
Yeah.
Do you want to do Mission Impossible right now?
Let's do Asteroid City first.
Asteroid City. So, first off, where do you rank it in the Wes Anderson filmography?
Oh, that's a good question. I put it above. I know it's your favorite. I put it above French Dispatch. It's not for me. Below most of them. I don't know. Maybe it's on par with like. I don't know. It's a weird movie. It doesn't feel like it. It feels like a Wes Anderson movie in the sense of how it's filmed and how the dialogue is. Other than that, like it's a little left field.
I have it ninth, only above Bottle Rocket and Moonrise Kingdom.
I love Moonrise Kingdom.
That's the one I hate it. But I mean, like the one I have it right below Darjeeling Limited.
I love it because it's stupid.
What Moonrise?
Yeah.
Yeah, what was tough for me was I thought the relationship was so weird with the two kids.
It was very
I
strange.
couldn't get past that, and it kind of just left a sour taste in my mouth after watching it. It's a good story, good shot. Obviously, it's shot well, but
You ever seen Old?
the M. Night movie?
Yeah.
No.
Watch that. It kind of reminds me of like a weird relationship in that film.
All right. But yeah, so I got Asteroid City at 9.
I'm probably right there with you.
I thought it felt like a parody at times of a Wes Anderson movie.
That's fair. I've just heard it mostly as Wes Anderson, way too Wes Anderson himself. Like I feel like the last few have kind of. I feel like Grand Budapest Hotel was kind of the first one that felt like a parody of Wes. Like not plot wise, I love the film, but like the first one that was just so Wes. If the first one that's so his template and his formula of making a film, like the dialogue, the color, the everything.
I kind of put the cutoff at Life Aquatic, where he stopped making movies about real people. Where none of them, like Rushmore, Bottle Rocket, Tenenbaums, and Life Aquatic, all feel like real life people.
Wasn't Tenenbaums before Life Aquatic? Or
no,
after? Sorry.
No, Tenenbaums was 01 and Life Aquatic was 04.
Really?
And I'd honestly even throw Darjeeling Limited in that cutoff line. But after that, you get Moonrise, so you get Fantastic Mr. Fox, Moonrise, Grand Budapest, Isle of Dogs, French Dispatch, and Asteroid City. And while I love French Dispatch, it's not a movie about real people. Like it doesn't feel like people that you really know, and a lot of the characters are cold in it. I think when you watch Rushmore or Tenenbaums, there are characters you really relate with in that. And I didn't think that with Asteroid City. None of the characters felt in any way, shape, or form relatable.
Sorry, going back to what you just said, I can just like those Wes Anderson films, you can even use pre-Darjeeling Limited. Darjeeling Limited and after that. I feel like it's real life scenarios happening to unrealistic behavior. Because you
Yeah,
can look at any one of those films, maybe take out the alien, and it's stuff that could happen. It's just that the reaction and the behavior of everybody in the cast and the characters of those films, it's just like that would not happen.
yeah. Even Fantastic Mr. Fox, I think, has in those post Darjeeling has the best themes of any of his movies where there's kind of an economic struggle where Mr. Fox loses his job and is stealing to help his family, and there's the theme of a son being disconnected from his father. Those themes really shine through in that. But
Well, or even like Darjeeling, like their father died, they're going to see their mom.
and it's
Like,
a reconnection amongst brothers that with obviously with Tenenbaums there's the family aspect. Rushmore, there's the being an outcast at school kinda and trying to get people to like you, that theme. And Bottle Rocket is just a dysfunctional friend group theme, but that actually feels like people you could interact with. Where with I think like with Asteroid City, there's a dysfunctional element, but where you look at the characters and think, I would never interact with these type of people. These people don't exist.
but they also don't exist in the film, which is interesting.
That's true too. That's where he kind of flips it a little on its head. Did you like any of the black and white stuff, the explaining with Bryan Cranston, Ed Norton? I did not either. Okay.
No, I liked the part of the guy of Jason Schwartzman, Augie, talking to the woman who was cast as his wife. I kind of like that part.
Talking to Margot Robbie
Was that Margot Robbie?
on the balcony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So a lot of I wrote that and I tweeted that I thought she was underutilized, but people were saying that she was in maybe the most important scene in the movie. I just felt if you're gonna put Margot Robbie in the movie, put Margot Robbie in the movie. Don't give me a half-baked scene of her, getting cut out of the play.
I'm okay with that because I feel like that's the character. And like I know it's stupid, but like they underutilize the character, underutilize the actor.
Yeah, I think part of it's on me too because I went in with very high expectations of the cast. I thought I saw people I enjoy. Hong Chow was one of the big ones where I loved her in The Whale. I liked her showing up, and I thought maybe she'll have a decent role in it, and she is in less than a minute of the movie as Adrian Brody's wife, and that disappointed me. So maybe I should have taken it more with a grain of salt, seeing the giant cast and realizing you can't get all these people on the screen together and make a cohesive movie. But the Margot Robbie and Hong Chu being left out were the two big, or being underutilized, I thought, were the disappointing ones for me.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Loved Adrian Brody's part.
He was good in it. There was a great scene where Schwartzman says, I don't even understand what this play is about. And that encapsulated the entire movie for me when he said that. I was kind of thought I was like, yeah, I'm with you, man. I don't know what's going on.
But her reaction, I think, was even more of an impact where it's like, you don't have to just keep telling the story, which also is a perfect representation of the film. It's like, just sit back and enjoy. You don't have to know what's going on.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
that's actually, him saying that is partially why I texted you was like a commentary on like films with no plot. Because him saying that, and I'm pretty sure Tom Hanks playing the grandfather even said like basically the same thing when they were digging up the mom in the ashes.
I thought that was good. Um, my favorite, so there with all the performances in there, um, where is it? I did like a whole report card thing where I graded them. My favorite performance was honestly probably from either Jake Ryan as Schwartzman's son in it. I thought he was very good.
Yeah.
And I thought that Liev Schreiber was also very good as the kid's father, the kid that kept running around. Do you dare
Ray
me to
Donovan.
do you dare me to jump on this cactus?
I
Do you
love him.
I thought he was, and I also thought Scarlett Johansson's daughter, and it was good.
I thought Scarlett Johansson was great.
Full nudity, Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, very full. I did not see that coming.
I did not. I was shocked by that.
I could have gone without that only because I feel like when was the last time there was nudity in what? Oh, never mind. Ask the last film.
Yeah. What's her name?
Leia Seydoux.
Yeah. She was the one
The
Benicio
mom.
del Toro and
Yeah.
Adrian Brody. That short story.
Yeah. Uh, Jeffrey Wright was Jeffrey
Jeffrey Wright
Wright.
was Jeffrey Wright is now at the point where he's a staple in Wes Anderson movies, and he just kind of shows up and does what he's told to do. Won't really blow you away. He's just there to, it's the old Patriot saying, do your job. That's what Jeffrey Wright does. He does his job.
After the films, always said that Jeffrey Wright should just be a narrator now.
I mean, he's got the voice for it. I think he's a great narrator. So I kind of agree.
Yeah, not just a narrator, but he should narrate.
For yeah,
Um, Not underutilized, but I thought Maya Hawke's character was very odd.
I didn't like her in it.
Yeah.
I thought what was disappointing is Wes Anderson and Greta Gerwig are both making movies this year, and Saoirse Ronan isn't in either of them. I thought she could have been great as Maya Hawke's character.
Who did you say?
Saoirse Ronan, Ladybird.
Oh, I feel.
That would have been the spot for her, though. She wouldn't have fit in anywhere else in the movie.
Well, in that using that argument, I agree. I forgot what I was about to say. Yeah, it was interesting. It
It's
was a
fine.
fun movie.
It's fine.
Yeah, it was fine.
I don't have a great desire to go rewatch it.
You know, this is how I would recommend this movie. If you're not a Wes Anderson film fan, don't watch the movie. You're not going to enjoy it whatsoever. If you're a Wes Anderson fan, it's going to scratch your itch with like his formula of filmmaking because just his writing of dialogue and his directing of dialogue, I love. Like just the interaction between the characters, it's close to my favorite. It's close to Colin Farrell's like characters normally, which I love. Just like the dry, unemotional, pointless humor. um Other than that, like it's a fun, weird. Did you understand the you won't wake up if you don't fall asleep?
No,
Was that like supposed to be for like movie theaters? Like I don't know what that was for.
I have no idea. I didn't get it. It didn't connect with me either. Um, it yeah. I just kind of it's somebody added to it to make it, I guess, memorable. Like a line from it that's memorable. But yeah,
Which
that's
it worked, I guess, but put on a t-shirt. I don't know. Saturday morning I watched the Cannes press conference or the Cannes whatever press conference from that film. I would watch it. I recommend that, but I think I'm gonna watch the movie again probably this year just to see if I can understand it a little bit more in terms of like the not the play going on, but the stuff going on outside. Like I did not understand the Ed Norton, um, Jason Schwartzman makeout scene.
I yeah, that was another one that kind of went over my head.
I enjoyed like the weird meta opening of this is a this is a show about characters. It's about like the show, like the movie about a show about the characters. Like I enjoyed that part. I actually do like that premise.
I
It was
just
just
thought that type of commentary with it made it. I think maybe it was there to make it less confusing. It made it more confusing for me.
yeah. I feel like it felt a little Truman Showy when Bryan
Mhm.
Cranston like showed up in like the play version where it's like I'm not supposed to be here, and then just like
It's there was too much of the breaking of the fourth wall for me.
yeah, I actually did like Agreed, but I did enjoy Schwartzman breaking the fourth wall, going behind the set, and like having the moment with Margot Robbie.
That was the only time I thought it fully worked. Um, but wasn't enough to, warrant having all the other times that it happened.
Yeah, I agree.
Mission Impossible.
Not film of the year so far for me,
Really?
dude. I loved it. I loved it.
I thought it was very good. I'd say probably the second or third best in the franchise. Because I Fallout's my favorite.
Yep,
Um,
I'm right there with you.
where I liked it. Don't get me wrong. I really, really enjoyed it. Where
Well,
I
sorry.
struggled,
Before you say that, I'm saying that I'm hours after watching this film in the theater. Like my opinion's gonna change tomorrow. I'm literally as fresh as you could be.
yeah, that I had the kind of the same thought where I just think some of the going back to old tricks didn't work for me as much. The silicone heads where you're pulling that out multiple times didn't work for me. I was like, we've done this before.
I'm cool with that. I love it. Give it to me.
It it's cool to see, but I also was at the point where, all right, you've done this, do something else. And also, what the fuck? We got another sandstorm scene. It was cool, but we've done the sandstorm scene before.
Also
What
pointless.
yeah, I that and I my other big takeaway is it hurt John Wick hurt this movie because there because last year we got Top Gun was nominated for Best Picture. I think the Academy is going to keep doing it where they nominate a very fun movie to get more people involved. I think John Wick will be that movie and not Mission Impossible. And John Wick coming out. Also, I think I should listen. John Wick coming out will hurt it, but the scene where they're at the party and they learn about the entity and kind of how they're in the entity right there was very reminded me a lot of the club scene, the club fight scene in John Wick 4, where
Sure.
I kind of thought, if I'd seen Mission Impossible first and John Wick second, my tone would be completely changed on it because I'd be like, oh, John Wick gets hurt here by the Mission Impossible having that scene where they're at a club or a party and a big fight scene ensues and the lights are very similar. I thought that was another thing that kind of hurt. But overall, it was a very good installment in the Mission Impossible franchise. And Christopher McQuarrie has solidified himself as the director of it because they've bounced around a little bit. McQuarrie is now the guy, but the John Woo one wasn't great. De Palma did one. So McQuarrie is now the guy.
I'm right there with you. I don't completely. I'm gonna have to rewatch John Wick, but I don't think John Wick completely did any disfavors for it. Maybe I don't love the franchise of John Wick. It's not my favorite. It's just more, I feel like I don't love action movies. It's not my favorite, but I feel like Mission Impossible had more action scenes, and John Wick has more fight scenes. If that makes any sense.
Oh no, that's true. This
And
this one had more fight scenes though than usual for a
correct,
Mission Impossible, where more hand to hand combat. I mean, the train scene was pretty much full hand to hand combat. In the airport, there was a lot of the chasing and stuff that you're used to, and then the club, the chase where the entity hacks the earpiece. That was a big fight scene too.
I feel like what kind of separates the two is that arguably Mission Impossible is more of an ensemble cast compared to John Wick,
Yes.
which more people feel involved and it doesn't feel just like as repetitive as like John Wick beating people up. That's just for me. Like John
Oh,
Wick,
that's true. You get more invested in the villain in the Mission Impossible movies rather than the John Wick ones.
correct.
I
One
I I thought the entity is an unreal villain.
love the idea of 2023 that AI is the villain.
This was anti AI propaganda at its finest, and it might work if enough people see it. AI just might be done with.
Because of Tom Cruise.
Yeah, yeah. Tom Cruise saves movie theaters in 2022 with Top Gun. And then he destroys AI in 2023 with Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning.
I feel weird for how much I love Tom Cruise. I love that man so much.
He he is great. Did you see the pre-credits, the pre-movie scene? He looks I remember now he's 61, but he
Yeah.
looks so old now. It's kind of odd. He just looks tired.
I mean, like you said, he wants to be acting until his mid 80s, like Harrison Ford.
I want them. I got a little concerned where I was starting to think, Mission Impossible might get like Fast and Furious, where they
That's
keep
what, yep,
making
I was gonna
movies.
say that,
But
but it's not.
I kind of now want them to just keep making them until the point where Cruise just dies doing one of the stunts, which will happen. Like we can sit here and try to deny it. He's going to die doing one of these stunts.
That man probably eats child souls. I think he's fine.
The scene at the very end where he's just parachuting around, that was 100% in there for him to show off. I said that to my dad when
Absolutely.
we left the theater. I was like, like that had to have been in there just for him to be like, hey, look, I can do this as well.
Give me every movie for the rest of this year with Tom Cruise. So the only thing
Barbenheimer with Tom Cruise, Barbie starring Tom Cruise,
I'm with it.
Wonka starring Tom Cruise.
I haven't seen Oppenheimer or Barbie yet. Maybe that's what he was hinting at when he was standing behind all the movie theaters for the tickets. Maybe he
That
was
would be
like,
great if he just had a cameo in the rest of every movie that comes out, from the indie short films to big budget blockbusters. He is just popping up in everything.
well, I know who we're casting next for our next short.
Tom will be in touch.
Tom will be in touch. Um, Maybe you can explain this a little bit more for me. I don't entirely understand the character of Gabriel.
He isn't in any other Mission Impossible, so they kind of.
Oh, I know that. I meant more in
I
the sense of
I thought he was. I thought I like misremembered something, and he was in like a prior one, but
okay.
no. So I thought he was a good fit in it, but was definitely strange that it's just popping up and they're like, oh my god, it's Gabriel.
I meant more, what is he? Like they made him seem like he was
Oh
like robot, which I know he's not, but like he has like a strange relationship with like the entity itself, but like you can't unlock it, but he's like the like like he represents it. Like it's very strange.
yeah, I have no idea.
Like how did he appear invisible like in the
I
airport?
saw that too because they pretty much are saying he's one with the entity.
Yeah.
Happened. So I don't really know. Um,
That makes it sound like he's like the creator of it, but he's not. That's not what
he's
they were
trying to
going for.
destroy it.
I
So
I thought Tom Cruise was trying to destroy it, and Gabriel wants to like control it.
that's what it is. That's what it is. So he isn't the entity then, or I. That's where I got a little confused. I mean, it didn't throw me off at all, but
No,
it was a little confusing of what his actual um role is with the entity and kind of as a villain.
yeah, no, I agree. I mean, he's only gonna be the second villain that's gonna be in more than one film. I read that earlier.
Uh, that's true. Yeah.
Um, I think he was a great villain. I loved his reaction at the end where he just yells "Ethan" when he realized he doesn't have the key anymore.
That was
Um,
pretty great.
that was.
I thought
Um,
this was the funniest of the Mission Impossible movies.
yeah, I
The
agree.
scene in the yellow little Miata was funny.
Yes, okay.
Uh, there were scenes that were not outrageous bad acting or bad scenes. Funny. There was actual humor injected
Yeah,
into.
outside of just comedy or outside of just the dialogue.
Yeah.
I give it like I already gave it a 4 out of 5 so far on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
Um, I have nothing negative to really say outside of that. That little confusion with Gabriel, like you said, didn't exactly throw me off. It didn't take away any enjoyment with the film. I love that film so much, and I would actually love to like do more of a deep dive with you in like a later episode, maybe even do like a ranking episode of all the Mission Impossible films. But
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go back and I think rewatch the earlier ones. But yeah, I definitely do that.
Zoe hasn't seen any of them really, so we're gonna go rewatch all of them.
Yeah. I've got it right now, sixth of this year.
That's
Um,
pretty good.
I have it
For
between it's ahead of Are You There, God, To Me, Margaret, and behind Blackberry.
I've been wanting to watch Are You There, God? Was that good?
It's way better than it should have been. Like
Yeah.
I went in low expectations and was kind of blown away.
Yeah, no, I really want to see that. I'm probably going to be focusing a lot on finishing all the shows that got nominated for the Emmys this year.
Mhm.
So the Fireman on the Table, um, you know, I finished Maisel. That was an incredible show. Marvelous was Maisel, who was also a high school wrestler. Um,
Really?
yeah, Rachel Brosnahan. Um, The Bear I gotta watch. So there's a few more shows I need to watch before the end of this year, and then probably watch the films that are the films that I missed. Watch the films that I missed, the ones that are being predicted to get noms. So
Mhm. Yeah, right now, I'll give you my top 10 for the year so far.
you do
Um,
that.
at 10, I've got Creed 3. 9, I've got Air. 8, I have Reality, the Sydney Sweeney movie. 7, Are You There, God, It's Me, Margaret. 6, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. 5, Blackberry. 4, Spider-Man
With
Across.
Glenn.
Have you seen it?
Not yet, but I love
It's
him so much.
it is really, really good.
That had the same weekend release as Fool's Paradise, I believe.
Fool's Paradise was so bad.
I know.
I was disappointed. I felt bad for Charlie Day.
Yeah.
4th, I've got Across the Spider-Verse. 3, Past Lives. 4 or 2, John Wick 4. 1, Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Was that only one straight to streaming with
Yeah,
the Sydney Sweeney one?
yeah.
Theaters are back.
Theaters are back. I love it.
I love it too. I actually completely pew-pewed that idea during COVID. Like I assumed that the only thing that were going to theaters were just gonna be the blockbusters.
No, it's back. Small movies, like Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. A theater movie. Past Lives, a theater movie. Asteroid City, a theater movie. So I mean, yeah, like you said, Beau's Afraid, theater movie. They're back.
I definitely have I don't know what I give Spider-Man yet. I think
I
I
I didn't love it as much as everybody said they. I
yes,
I
thank you.
I really liked it.
Yep.
It's don't I do not like people saying it's close to the first one because it's not. It's not in the ballpark.
I agree.
It just that cliffhanger gutted me. I in a bad way too, where I was disappointed.
I don't disagree, but it's also like it was a little corny. But
Mhm.
I also don't care for the Miles character as much as I probably should.
So I like his character. I hate Gwen Stacy.
I'm opposite.
She is a horrible friend.
I actually am opposite. I love that character. I don't know why.
Oh God.
I don't know. I less to do with Gwen Stacy. I'm not. I just don't feel. Maybe I need to rewatch the first one before I saw the second. But
Mhm.
I watched. How long was it? Like 2.5 hours? 2 hours? It felt kind of
220, I
long.
think.
Yeah. Like the Miles character just doesn't do it for me. He just kind of seems like a annoying kid that wants to do his thing and not be told otherwise. Like my favorite character is freaking uh what's his name? Jake Nichols.
From
Dude,
Girl.
yeah,
Yeah, he's great.
I love him so much. The 2099 one, the
I
that
thought
was
he was
awesome.
good.
He was awesome.
I
Um,
didn't like punk rock Spider-Man.
oh, that was Kaluuya, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I thought
All time great Childish Gambino cameo.
yeah.
I thought that was good.
So that movie's at like a 7 out of 10 for me right now.
Yeah,
Seven and
it's
a half.
one that and Beau's Afraid are the two movies I've soured on the most this year.
That's fair.
But I was
I think
afraid. I initially had like second this year. I've dropped it to I think 15th.
I'm surprised it was ever second.
I was mystified by it, and I think I told myself that it was good, and then I thought back more and more and more and more, and continued to drop it further and further down my ranking.
People are probably just going to be like, Ari Aster is just too smart. You don't understand. Like, that's the argument that people are going to use for how good that film is.
It'll be like it's like M Night Shyamalan,
Sure. It's, it, but no, like, I'm not, what do you mean by that?
where it's oh you didn't understand. Oh no, I shouldn't say Shyamalan. David Lynch. Oh, you didn't understand. You don't like it because you didn't get it. You're too
That's a good
dumb to
example.
have gotten it. It's like
Yeah,
no,
it's too,
the movie didn't make sense. I watched Mulholland Drive for the first time recently. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I had no idea. I mean, it had a great jump scare, but other than that, I had no clue what was happening.
you ever seen Blue Valentine or Blue Velvet? I mean,
Blue Velvet's awesome.
so weird.
It's Dennis Hopper is so scary in that.
Um, yeah, no, I agree, but it's definitely another strange
Yeah.
Lynch one. I do want to watch his Dune at some point.
Yes. But
Um, yeah, no, but maybe later this year when it gets closer to the end of the year, we can give our actual top tens of the year.
yeah.
Um, I don't know if you saw, I kind of got back on Letterboxd and like went crazy on a bunch of films that I watched like the last not too long ago. Um, there's still like a whole bunch I gotta look up, but I'm just like, I haven't been on here in a while. I just like went ham. Um, I gotta go back to like reviewing and using that app more appropriately. But back to Asteroid City and um Mission Impossible. I'm very fresh off both of them. I actually did enjoy both of them.
Mhm.
Um, Mission Impossible is a very good film, and strangely enough, Asteroid City felt very refreshing for me
Mhm.
because Wes Anderson is just one of those films, one of those directors, one of those. Sorry, Wes Anderson is one of those directors that just his formula and way of filmmaking is just so take a seat, relax, and just have fun.
Yeah. Just yeah, that's true. And I do think this one was the least like that though, where you had to think a little. Which kind of
Not if you only focus on the small story,
true. That's true. No, you're right.
which that kind of goes along with like you don't have to understand what's going on. Just sit back and like watch the story.
Hmm.
Which I don't even know
Um,
if that's what they're actually trying to like tell. I don't even know if that was actually a point that they were trying to say. I don't know if I don't understand certain parts of that film, and maybe I don't have to, maybe I don't want to. I don't entirely know what his vision was for that, but
mhm.
it was fun enough. And his ensemble cast and like what they bring to the table, like I love Steve Carell in that. I love Liev Schreiber, like or Liev, I don't know, but Ray Donovan, whatever you want to call him.
But yeah, so good episode back. This was fun. We got
That
some
was a good
stuff to
one.
talk about off air, but thank you for listening to this episode of the My Parents Office podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, whatever platform you're listening to. Social media at My Parents Office, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. So go check all that out. And thank you for listening. We'll be back with our Barbenheimer full review on the next episode you hear. So stay tuned for that.